Greetings, fellow cruisers. This is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling. Today we are going to be talking about slot machines and why you're losing so much in the casino and what you can do to fix it. So let's jump right in with reason number one. Reason number one, you've heard me say time and time again, and that is picking the right machines. You want low volatility machines. The idea that all the machines are the same is a myth. It's just flat out wrong. There's volatility involved. I do have a video about talking about the terms and such. I've put out some other videos concerning volatility. But really what this is going to be is if the machine is set to hit after like a big jackpot, after a whole lot of dead spins, or if it's going to be able to kind of pay you throughout a little more evenly. Some people will think at the return to player as the number. And really, it's not, because when you're doing slots, these machines are built to have millions of spins and to hit at whatever percent they've got at. And you're not going to notice the difference whether that number is 95% or 85%. You're not going to feel it in the game. It's not going to be noticeable enough over the millions and millions of spins. So don't think about that. Don't look at that as what you need as your guide. What you're looking for are low volatility machines. This can be found if you have some favorite ones, you can go onto the manufacturer's website, and a lot of times they will tell you if it is a low, medium, or high volatility machine. They may have a grade to it, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it may be something as basic as low, medium, high, or low to medium, medium to high, high. So they could rate them however they want, but they'll explain that to you as to what it is on the site, so you know which ones you're looking for. Now, as you play them more, you'll get your own feel as to, okay, I see it now, and even if you're not familiar with it, doesn't mean that you can't pick a great machine and win some money on your cruise. Now, one of the things that I do, and it's also one of the reasons I've been putting those videos out, is I look at online, I look at the YouTube, and I look at different casino slot tours that are on there. And so I try to look at them and get some stuff where the games are active. Some of the other ones I've seen, sometimes there's a lot of blank screens because it's not open yet. And I actually have one or two of those before I kind of realized there was a better way to do it. But yeah, I try to show you what the machines are so you can go in there, and when you're at home, you can kind of plan an attack. And that's usually what I will do, is I go in there and I will look at the video tours that are out there, and I'll go, okay, I'm going to be looking at this game, this game, this game. And so I'll have 2 or 3 machines kind of that I've sort of pre-decided that those are the ones I'm going to check out. And if nothing else, if I want to try some other stuff, that's fine. But I got to have a fallback, something that I know is a little safer. So again, generally speaking, I'm trying to stay low volatility, but at the same time, the machines, any machine, low, medium, or high volatility, could run into a row of dead spins that can kind of have you thinking, did I pick the wrong machine? And that's because, again, the algorithm is made to cover, well, again, millions of spins over years. I mean, if you think about it, and even if you pay attention to it, how often you can hit the button or watch somebody else and how often they're hitting the button, you think, my gosh, this machine is getting 20 spins a minute, or more or less, depending on the machine and the features and how they're going. And that makes a big difference as to what you're looking at. But again, having a plan of attack is a huge benefit to know what you're going into, to look at those. And then also, again, you may find a few machines that you go, all right, I might check that one out, because when you're on a cruise, you play a little bit differently because you are on a ship. It's like if you go to Vegas, you go to Vegas, but you're probably going to go to other places to, if you're staying at, I don't care, the Flamingo, wherever you're staying, doesn't matter. And you decide you want to go to watch the circus at Circus Circus, or you're checking out one of the shows that are going on. They've got multiple entertainment people that have residencies there, and Cirque du Soleil and all that kind of stuff. Whereas on a casino, yes, on a cruise ship, yes, there's a lot of things to do, but you are still on the same ship. You're not leaving the casino, so to speak. If you're staying at Circus Circus, you're not leaving, Circus Circus. You're staying right there to watch all those shows, and so they got you. And plus, on a cruise ship, usually the casinos are kind of right in the middle, so you have to sort of walk by them. And if you like playing the casino, that's going to be an enticement for you. So again, having a plan of attack beforehand and saying, all right, I'm going to go to these machines. These are the ones I'm going to look at and play those. That's going to save you some money. And I will just go ahead and I'm going to add in a couple things here that where you can just see a few machines that are out there that you might want to look at. Again, it's hard for me to just say, well, play this machine or that machine because the casinos are so different. Even on what I do most of my selling on at this point anyway has been Royal Caribbean. And there's each one is different. So if I like, I brought up Little Shop of Horrors. I've really only seen that on, I think, 2 ships. I believe they had it on Wonder, and I can't remember the other one. But I've been on a lot of the ships, so that kind of tells you something there. Press Your Luck. I like Press Your Luck. This is another medium type volatility game that I like. It's fun. And again, it's not one that's on every ship. I saw that one on Utopia. I saw it on Radiance, but it was a little different as far as the denominations go. It was a lower denomination thing, which I thought might be good. And I tried it, but it was just starting to eat me alive. And so again, I had a fallback on Radiance. There's crazy money too. And it's a penny machine. They have them at 2 cents. But it's one of those, it's a penny machine, and at max, I think it's $1.35, which is within my budget. And so that made the difference for what I was doing. When the first game started eating me alive, I switched over to my Old Faithful there because I'd been on the ship before, and luckily they had the same machines because I had looked. And it played fantastic for me and made the whole session there worthwhile. It turned into other cruises, again, just from making the switch to having the right machine. So picking the right machine is everything. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is a budget. Budgets are important, and again, this is something in different videos you've heard me talk about, is that if you don't want to lose, you don't want to. Losing is one thing. You go there with the idea that you're in a casino and I'm going to probably lose money. Everybody wants to win, I get that, but you got to have a budget. You don't want to go back and realize that you've affected, car payments, house payments. People do that. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of gambling. And even if you think you got it under control, you may not. So having a pretty firm budget as to what you want to do. On a cruise ship, it's a little bit different in how you go about things because you're there again for however many days you're at sea, and you want to have more of a daily budget and then also have a budget that you're going to use for the length of the cruise that you're out there. For if it's a 7-night cruise, I'm getting ready to go on a 12-night followed by a 5-night overseas transatlantic. And so, budgeting for 17 nights because we know that we want to gamble. We've decided that. My wife and I are going. And so we don't want to go back and realize that we've just lost, $5,000 because we didn't budget. And that's definitely not something we're looking to do there. I don't know what our budget is. We haven't talked about that yet. I don't know if that number is 1,000, if it's going to be 2,000, but we have to stay with whatever that number is that we're looking to do. And then also I want to keep in mind is that there are 2 cruises. And so when you're doing a casino at sea, it's different when you're playing for those points to try to gain. You're playing for points on land, but again, it's a different thing when you're trying to earn a free cruise and go into other countries and such. And a lot of what they look at is going to be based on what have you done on your most recent trip. So I've got 12 nights and then 5 nights. Well, the 5-night is going to be the one that's going to really show my most recent play. 12 nights obviously has more days in it. So when I'm budgeting, I want to play enough to where they're not thinking that, okay, they've given me this free cruise, 2 free cruises that I'm going to be doing here, and I'm not playing, because that's the reason they're giving it to you, is they want you to play. I want to get enough out of that to where my time, because it's 7 nights, just sea days, that just to get to the first stop in Ponta Delgado. So the minimum that I would want to gain, the minimum would probably be 200-300 points, and that would be low. That would be low for 12 nights. But it's going to really depend on how things go as to how we play, because my focus, my concern will be on the 5 nights that I'm really showing the most recent activity as being substantial. So I will be playing and earning those points, and I'll have probably as big of a budget for the 12 nights as I will the 5 nights. It's going to be much more port intensive. and I'll have to plan that strategy as to when I'm going to be there, because again, I'm going to be at the ports. I'm going overseas to see these, other countries. I don't want to miss that at all. So I want to do that. I'm going to want to enjoy a nice dinner, and so then whatever shows are on there, I want to catch the shows. So I want to have enough time in the casino where I can have an hour, 2 hours per night. Not that I can't skip a night. It's not what I'm saying. To where I've got some steady play showing, and that I'm playing enough to where they want to continue to give me free cruises. But at the same time, I don't want to lose so much that it was never worth me getting the free cruise. Again, my situation is very different, because when I'm retired, I can go and take my cruise offers and get a whole bunch of them. Like I just got off the cruise ship, and I was sitting there, and I had 11 cruise offers the other day. It's like 2 days ago from when I'm recording this, and I booked 5 of those right off the bat. Just okay, what do I want to do? Bum 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 bum. I booked 5 cruises just on the same day with the lady from, because I call when I do it, from Royal Caribbean. I call in the casino, let them know what I'm looking to do. I try to get my cabins either the same or very close to each other, depending on the circumstances. So I have that ability to lose a certain amount of money and know that I can get multiple free cruises. For some of you, it may be something to where the time-wise, your vacation time or other things you got planned, it just doesn't work out to do as many cruises, or maybe it's just one, and so you want to earn a free cruise. And sometimes, whatever you're planning to do, you may have been able to just pay for outright rather than to try to go through the casino, if you don't cruise a lot. So it's something you have to weigh in. It's not something you want to jump into. You really want to think about. Hopefully, you're doing your research if you're watching this video, but continue that research with the other videos I have out there, along with other people's videos. There are some differences, again, when you're looking at someone who's teaching you the slots that are land and the slots that are at sea. And with every respect to those people, if you don't understand the point system and you're playing for cruises, it's different. I'm telling you, it's different, and I will get to that. So have a budget, stick to your budget, and if you want to have an overage, plan the overage. Like, okay, well, I'll just use, say it's 2,000. Say that's our budget. We're going to do 2,000. All right, 2,000. If there's something there that we find that we're wanting to play for, because you should always check to see the cruises that are being offered from each tier that you're trying to reach point-wise, then maybe there's a buffer in there of $100, $200, $300, whatever it is for you that budget is. But make sure that you know going in what that is, because as you get points, it's different as far as your offers go as to whether you're at 1,200 points, 1,500 points, 2,000 points, 3,000 points, 4,000 points. And those differences are like the same cruise might be on there, but the same cruise might be on there for buy one and the other person is has to pay discounted rate. Maybe even the next year up might have that same cruise and have the same thing. Or maybe it is get a second person on an interior cabin. And then the next one that you look at may have, next tier could have, to where you're getting, well, you will be getting $100 free play at 2,000 points, or is it 1,500 points, $100 free play? I think I'm thinking about it correctly. But anyway, yeah, know what your free play is. I did one cruise I booked recently to where when I was on the cruise, and I knew what I was going for, is that there was a difference between $100 free play and $250 free play by hitting the point total. And it was worth it at the way the machine was playing to go ahead and play more to get that, because I wasn't going to lose more than $250 to gain the extra $150 that I would have by playing. And so I just kept playing. So there's a lot of little nuances in that. So again, have a budget, stick to your budget. Can it be a little loose? Yes, but know how loose that's going to be, because, well, if you go into, don't get emotional. That, matter of fact, that'll be the next thing I'll go into then. Don't play on emotion with your budget, because if you think that it's due, it's not due. The machines are not due. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how long it's been. There's no machine that is due. There's no such thing as that. This is something to where those machines are randomized. They are set with a volatility in mind. They are set with how they're going to play in mind. But I've sucked myself into this even not that long ago. I'm a little embarrassed to say, on a machine that I already got sucked into one other time a year or two ago, and I kept playing the game. And I was like, why am I doing this? I'm not even enjoying it. But I know that just because the pig is big doesn't mean it's going to pop, and when it does pop, doesn't mean it's going to pay a lot. And I did that on a recent sailing to where I don't even like the game, and it's not really fair. I like the game when it's playing it, but it's at Rake and Bacon, and I had won on that. I guess it's been about a year ago. I think it was on Odyssey of the Season. I hit and got a hand pay on that. It was just a line hit. And so the game that had already beaten me up before, when I really didn't know enough about casinos, and I had played, I decided to give the game a chance again, and I got lucky. And this time I jumped on the machine. I moved to the machine because the pig was big, and I know better than that. I know it's wrong. But I was like, you know what, I'll just slide over here, because the machine that I was playing on, which was the Rake and Bacon, had hit early and hit quick, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just come over here. I'll see what happens here. Maybe I can get lucky. And, I started playing, and really wasn't happening. And I made the mistake. I played longer than what I should have and lost more than what I should have. And things still didn't pop. I ended up going to a show. But yes, I was able to put it away, but it was probably later. It was definitely later than what it should have been. If I'm going to be honest with myself, it was definitely later than what it should have been. I should have got off the game. Now, I'm betting the minimum, but still, you can slap that button at 88 cents at a time, and if you just keep slapping and it takes, again, you can hit that button within, a minute 25 times. You spent $25. I mean, I played a game, well, I'll get into that. I won't go off on a tangent again, but yeah, I've made this mistake, and I'm just trying to warn you not to do it, because when you play with emotion and think that it's due, or you're frustrated, and you just like, well, I might as well. That's also the wrong way to look at it. The I might as well argument never pays off. Well, I might as well just play, or I might as well just bet higher, or I might as well just go for it. Yeah, you're going to get somebody that you're going to be seeing posting that is made it. That's like, wow, look at that. They said that and they did it, and isn't that awesome? Most of the time it doesn't pan out, and it's not worth doing. So do not play on emotion, play on common sense. If you find yourself in that emotional spot and trying to make the decision, just pause. Just whether it is just stopping at the game and hailing for a drink because you want to decide, or if you just want to get it from the machine, that's great. If you can do that. I know a lot of people will not want to get it from the machine, and that's why I say, just stop, just order a drink. And I realize maybe other people want the machine. You can keep your card in it and have whatever money you got in it there. If you're waiting for a drink and someone says, hey, are you going to play? Says, yeah, I am. I'm just getting a drink and taking five, or however you want to word it. Yes, I am playing it. No one's going to say anything to you. If you're there sitting there for an hour, okay, someone might say something to you. So don't play on emotion. You're setting yourself up to lose. Don't do it. Okay, next point kind of goes into what we were just talking about, in that, I talked about pausing with the emotion thing is even before you get to that point, is to set a point where you can kind of evaluate what's going on, evaluate the situation. And so whether you're winning or losing, it's just as easy to get roped into blowing money, maybe even easier if you're winning than it is if you're losing. Again, that's another mistake that I've made, to where you're in there and you're thinking, wow, this is great. And then the game starts to kind of turn on you there, and it's not winning. You're going, yeah, well, it's probably, I was doing great, so I'll just stay on it, and it gets longer and longer. And then you realize that the winnings that you had, you've lost, they're gone, and maybe you're even in the hole. And we all know that feeling when you're thinking that, again, the machine's going to pop and whatever. It doesn't happen. You play, and you've on one winning money, so why not? You relax. You kind of, I got this. You're popping that button, Well, you can pop that button and lose everything you won. Because again, when you're hitting that button, do this sometime. When you are playing, time yourself. Watch how often on different games you're hitting that button, how many times, just in a minute. If you're with somebody, have them set a watch. And play an honest game as to what you would normally do. Maybe if you don't want to do that, or you're by yourself and you're to watch 5 people, just randomly watch 5 people play. And you're going to have easily getting that 20 spin. Unless they're in the middle of a big bonus kind of a thing. Obviously, the bonus rounds can take a little more time. And that's another thing, is how often those bonuses going off when I'm talking about the volatility. Watch them. I mean, and you'll see some people, and you may be that person, and they're pop, 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 pop. I personally, I don't get that. If that's your game, that's fine. But I don't see where the enjoyment is as to what the game has to offer if you're just smacking the machine. You know, another thing I see a lot of, I'll see people just smacking the machine and they're on their phone. Why? Well, why play the machine? Why you're in a casino? You're probably going to lose. Again, that was the first thing I had said, I believe, out of the gate there. You're in a casino. The place is made to be a moneymaker. So to be not paying any attention, you know, I get it if you're having a conversation with somebody, or if somebody calls you. I mean, I get all that, but I've seen people just spend, you know, I'll be on one machine and I'll glance over and they'll see they're on their phone, or they're slapping away, and okay, and I'm playing the machine, and you realize 10, 15 minutes went by and you peek over and they're still doing the same thing, just pop, pop, pop. I mean, a lot of times you can hear it because they're smacking that button. Don't do that, by the way. If you're wondering why those buttons get messed up, it's because the smacking of the button. And if you just push it with intention, firmly, most of the time it'll do it if somebody else hasn't broke the button because it keeps smacking it. So don't do that. Again, with the evaluation point, you can do that based on a couple different things. Because again, if you're playing for cruise points, you can look at it as what you're wanting to accomplish. If you know you're going to be playing for several more days, even if you're kind of winning, it may behoove you to just go, okay, well, you know what? I was trying to get to whatever the number is. Say it's a 7-day cruise and you were trying to get to 1,200, 1,500 points was your goal, and you've already got 300 points or 400, whatever the number is that you were thinking. Like, okay, I'll do, 200 a day, and then I'll be at the 1,200 again, whatever. Plan that. If you want to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to play more because I'm doing well, I would still tell you to make a stopping point to where you go, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going pretty good here. I probably could stop. I'm where I need to be point-wise, what I was trying to average, but I'm doing good. So I'm going to keep going. But take that time to process what you're going to do. Not just I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to play until, this much money, whatever it is. Again, you're doing good. We'll say you're up. Again, depends on what you're playing, 100, 200, 1,000, whatever it is. I'm going to play X amount of money more, or a certain time. I'm going to lose, or hopefully you don't lose, but I'm going to go another hour. I'm going to go another half an hour, or I'm going to go another 50 points or another 100 points, and evaluate as you do that. So if you tell yourself, all right, I'm going to just play for 100 more points because maybe there's something else going on, make sure you're paying attention to your bankroll. Because if the machine just starts to go and he's like, you know what, I was already up, walk away. So having an evaluation point can be huge as far as making sure that you don't find yourself on a cold streak. And you can use that to your advantage. Also, if you are having a bad streak and maybe you don't have the points that you were wanting to, but again, you're on a cruise for whatever many days. And so if you start out and your first day or two isn't good, stop. Just, okay, I'm gonna go do something else, get in the hot tub, whatever you feel like doing. You're on a cruise, lots of stuff on there to do, go do that. And maybe day 2, day 3, day 4, since you've stopped, maybe you've got more time or more budget to use on those days. And maybe the machines, maybe it's your day, maybe you're hitting better that time. So you can use those days to your advantage because you're on a cruise ship. You're not just going to the casino, a weekend trip to Vegas, and I'm going to blow this and go crazy. Or you got a local casino and you're going there to gamble for a certain amount of time. You're at sea. take your time, have a plan, have an evaluation point for all that you're doing, and keep a level head going back to the emotions. It's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. All right, next thing, next one up is talking about facts, working with the facts and not the myths, because there are a lot of them out there. And I kind of touched a little bit on one of them, and that is, when the pig is big, that it's about to go. If you actually look at the rules that are in there, the readings that the manufacturer provides, and I'm not even talking about having to go online, I'm just going through the machine, it'll tell you very specifically, it will tell you that those are just there for to entice you. So again, the pig being big means nothing. As it grows, it means nothing. How quickly it grows means nothing. It doesn't matter if it's pig, doesn't matter if you're trying to watch lines go up to get to a certain level. No matter what you think, when these machines are manufactured, what you have to understand is it's more than just the money. And it is, there are actually people that work in psychology that they talk with and what they can do to make the machines be more enticing. You can look at it as more fun to play, and I'm sure that that's the good positive corporate spin. But when you look at that and you go, oh man, I just missed it. See, it's just right below. I just missed it. That's to keep you playing, and it's easy to get wrapped up into it. I've done it myself. You go, oh, it's right there. That was intentional, but it's intentional because they want you to keep spinning. Oh, it's so close. I think it's about to go. No. That's so close because they wanted it to be so close. The reels don't randomly go around and then randomly hit. Yes, there is the random number generator, but it is random to the respect of what level it's going to pay. So yes, there is a randomness to it, but it doesn't mean that the wheels are just spinning freely. It's kind of like, if you have the wheels that you see going around and it looks like the pies are even number or even spacing aside, that would tell you my example here. And it's gonna more times hit on the lowest number or the mini than it is the other stuff, even though the same space size is available to it. That's what I'm talking about there. Or touching the coins, and you're going, oh man, look at that, I'm so close. I got 2 grands and I got 2 maxis, and then the mini shows up and you can count it. I mean, just how many times it doesn't make sense that it's going to hit. One of them, again, I talk about a lot is the Little Shop of Horrors. And they got the one where the cards come up and you put 5 cards up there. So you've got a 1 in 5 chance of winning whatever the biggest thing is. And sometimes it'll be Seymour. I play this game a lot. I've played a lot. I've never hit the Seymour, and I've never hit and the Seymour for the minimum bet is only $800. Never. I've hit the Audrey many times. That's why if you hear me talk about it, I always say I look for the ones with the Audrey because that one's way more likely to hit. And I've played that Seymour game for, again, a long period of time before I was teaching this stuff, and I've never hit it. And so it's not 1 in 5. You can hit the same space over and over, just 1 in 5, and I think it's 3 cards on top and 2 cards in the middle, and go, okay, well, I'm just going to pick the same card every time. That way, whenever it comes around, it'll be there. Yes and no, but it's not a 1 in 5 thing because the machine has decided before you've touched it what you're going to get. So you do not have the 1 in 5 chance that it looks like. You've got whatever it's pre-decided for you to touch. So again, very important to understand those myths. And again, another one you'll see a lot of is they'll think of where the machine is located. Oh, well, the machine is located up front. It's more likely to hit because when people are in the casino and it's right up front and they're coming in, they see people hitting and it's like, oh gosh, this must be, a loose casino or this must really pay well. They're not located in spots that are for a machine that's going to hit better. Hitting one that's maybe on like an end cap does not mean it's going to hit better. Having it tucked away does not mean it's going to hit better. So those are some of the myths that you have to just put aside and understand the facts are of what's being done. The reason the machines are placed usually where they are is through the contracts of the different manufacturers to put their stuff in a certain spot. That's where that comes from. So when you're looking at all the different myths that you've heard, make sure that what you're hearing is, that might be the way to put it, make sure that what you're looking at is the facts and not the myths. You know, another reason that, and I kind of touched on it a little bit, but I just want to have a clear point to it rather than being mentioned in another segment, is again, that you're on a cruise ship. So a lot of times if you're watching some of the other content creators, which again, I love them, I watch them myself, don't get me wrong, they'll be talking about making, you know, their money last for 15, 20 minutes. Oh, that's really good. I lost, you know, X amount of money and I got to play for 20 minutes. And if I'm in the casino, I'm wanting to play for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And I might want to do that on multiple. I'm probably going to do at least an hour, more days than not, at least an hour. So that's, but I'm betting the minimum. And so that's one of the caveats of when you're playing the minimum bet is it takes longer to get the points. But you tend to lose less because again, it's, do you want to spend one time for $10 or do you want to spend 10 times at $1? Which one do you think most likely, even on the least volatility machine, you're going to end up with the most money on? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, if you hit for the on that $10 one, it's like, wow. But again, you're trying to gather points. You know, that $10 spin on Royal Caribbean is worth 2 points. Whereas if you're spinning 10 times at say $1 and you've gained, you know, another $1, $2 in the spins, $3 in the spins, you know, maybe you've played $12, maybe you've played 13. Again, just like the other one, maybe you've won because if you're playing a higher volatility game, you have a better chance of hitting a little bit bigger numbers than you do if you play the other ones because their game most often is to, and you see it, they've got these 50,000. I mean, I've seen, you know, people look at the Dragon Links game and go, wow, look at that it's sitting at $55,000 as a bonus. That thing must be getting ready to pop. And I've seen other Dragon Link games and those things are sitting at 100,000 or 200,000. So is that 50,000 getting ready to pop? Probably not. So knowing that, you know, knowing kind of what the pop point is for something, if something's maxed out, will at least help you a little bit. So keep that in mind when you're playing. As always, I also want to bring up the obvious, and that is if you don't have the controls that you need and you've got a problem, there is no shame in just simply not gambling. And there's no shame in going into the casino and saying, don't let me bet. Or you can go quite official with it and you can say, I'm not betting for a year and sign up for that. Royal Caribbean has something like that, as well as a lifetime ban on it. Now, the thing is that when you ban yourself from the casino, they're not going to let you play. Because the whole point of this is that you're hopefully in a strong spot where you're taking your stand, and then, you know, maybe when you're at a weaker spot is when you go, well, no, I really want to play now, and they're not going to let you because that's the whole point of it is, that's the thought process is that you're at a weaker spot and you've said in clear conscience that you don't want to do this. So know what you're signing up for, but this might be a great way to not get in debt in the first place. Gambling is not for everybody. It can be a lot of fun. It can be very exciting. You can win some money, but going into the casino knowing that you're probably going to lose money is really the way to do it. Have fun, gamble smart. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.